Hi folks, Dorr here from AaronDorr.com. As you guys get involved in politics perhaps for the first time, or get organized and get serious perhaps for the first time, and get ready to go and push for your bill in the State House, there's some things you should be aware of before you set foot inside that first time. Because after the election results of 2016, the GOP has a complete lockdown now on 24 states here in the country for the first time since the 20s. I'm talking about the House, Senate, and Governor's Mansion under their control. A number is probably going to climb and sometime in the next couple of years here if current trends hold true. And so when you're involved in politics, you have to realize now that we have control in many of these states, and it should be easy for us to pass our kind of bills. Now, of course, as you probably already know, it's never easy for us to pass the kind of bills we care about, because we're pushing for serious and oftentimes controversial issues like gun issues, or perhaps tax issues, or the pro-life issue, or perhaps right to work issues. Things like that are never going to pass easy. One of the big temptations you have to be aware of as you get involved in politics, though, is the danger of 11th hour weakening amendments and 11th hour pressure tactics being poured down upon your head by legislators who are telling you it's all or nothing. We have to take this deal right now. We're not going to pass your bill. I'm standing here today in the Iowa State House, my home state of Iowa, and I've had numerous times in the past couple of years, many times, where I'm standing here talking to a legislator, making sure they know what we expect of them, and then out of that chamber right there behind me, you'll have some member of leadership come out here. We'll stand here up against the rail. This whole room is jam-packed at that point with lobbyists and school tour groups and that kind of thing. And they're like, here's the deal, Aaron. We can pass this bill this year, the one you're pushing for, but you have to take X, Y, and usually Z compromise in its stead. So on a gun bill, perhaps you have to increase permit fees, or you have to increase training requirements, or you have to increase some type of umbrella insurance policy as a condition of owning and carrying firearms. Whatever your issue is, they're going to find compromises on it that will weaken and undermine your legislative project. And the temptation at that point is white hot on you and on your organization as you consider whether or not you should take the deal. But I'm telling you right now, the pressure at that point is going to be indescribable. But right here at this point is where you and I have got to hold the line, because you see, they have the majority votes in most of these states that we're talking about. They can get it done. The question oftentimes comes down to how much room will you and I give them? How much compromise will you and I accept? And they're going to push your buttons as hard as they possibly can to see what you will give up on. And if you hold that line, and if you insist to them, no, you have the time, you have the votes now, you're going to get it done this session, this year, and if they don't get it done, that's on them. That's not on you. If they kill your bill, guess what? We have elections for that in this country, and you and I have a way to deal with politicians that refuse to hold the line on our constitutional freedoms every 2 years or every 4 years, as the case may be. But if you fold, if you buckle, if you fall apart right here when the pressure's on you and you're in the State House like this, who do you get to blame at election time? Who does your organization attack? You signed off on the compromise. You signed off on the deal. So come election time, your organization has to sit there and be quiet and say nothing. And guess what? That was their goal from the very beginning. So when you come into politics, you come into the Capitol for the first time, it's okay to lose. It's okay to lose for a long time, as long as you're growing your organization throughout that process. If you're not sure what that means, watch our other videos and articles on this website about lists, money, and people, the three things you have to be growing at all times to advance your organization. But again, when you set foot in here for the first time, it can be intimidating. And when they come out of that chamber here, and then you get bombarded with a couple, 4 or 5 legislators demanding you take some kind of a compromise, it can be very hard to say no. But if you say yes right there, if you sign off on the deal, they win and you lose.